Okay, reading from China Hands.
Yes, this is about Peiping, as Beijing was called in those days, in 1946. Peiping was a gilded lotus land. The city was in glorious flower. It was a swarm at that time with Americans, Marines, United Nations officials, journalists, consular officers, all en route somewhere else, or based there temporarily. This gave the newly liberated city an air of festivity and excitement. The food and drink were plentiful then, thanks in part to the Japanese, who had started truck farms in the nearby countryside, which produced excellent fresh fruit and vegetables. Peiping was like ripe camembert, an American China Hand said to me years later in Hong Kong. It was the beginning of Lao Peking's last great flowering as a walled city, baking at that time in the summer heat of the North China Plain, fragrant at night with ancient jasmine scents and the pungent smells of Peking cooking, odors richly underscored by the night soil being transported daily out of the city in honey pots, as the containers for human excrement were called, to be used as fertilizer in the surrounding farmland. It was the ideal setting for pure discourse, which was what the 7 sages of the bamboo forest used to do when they drank so much they achieved perfect harmony in silence. As my father wrote in a letter from Peiping for the New Yorker in 1947, there is a difference of time element or of precision between Peiping and the more westernized Chinese cities. It isn't obvious, but it grows apparent as you stay on here. People aren't so apt to make appointments for sharp hours and then rush to keep them. It is more customary to tell someone that you will be around to see him in due course, and then eventually to go at some time when he is likely to be in, and to stay and talk at length, perhaps for a few hours. Dad, like Graham Peck, was unable to resist alluding to pure discourse in his narrative. The spirit of pure discourse is strong here, he wrote. Men like William Blake, who seemed queer in places like London, would not seem queer in Peiping.
Beautiful. Beautiful.